This is about you, not your past, not your neighbor, not the person you used to be when life had you walking in circles. You, the one heaven has been trying to awaken, the one whose spirit has outgrown the way your body shows up in the world. And hear me clearly, you need to work on the way you dress, not because you lack beauty or worth, but because the weight of your calling has become too heavy to be wrapped in inconsistency. There are moments when your spirit roars like a lion, yet your presentation whispers like a shadow. There are days when your soul stands tall, yet your clothing kneels. That contradiction is not harmless. It is holding you back from the future already written in your name. I'm not here to speak about fashion. I'm here to speak about destiny, about alignment, about identity. This is not vanity. This is clarity. This is a call. This is destiny. You already carry an energy that makes people turn their heads, even when you feel invisible. You already have a presence that shifts the atmosphere before you open your mouth. The question has never been whether you have power. The question is whether you present that power consistently. Every time you choose your clothes, you preach a silent sermon. Every outfit is a message. Every appearance is a prophecy. Do you dress like someone who is chosen, or do you dress like someone apologizing for being seen? People read you before they hear you, and your appearance often speaks louder than your words. Whether you realize it or not, someone important has already been watching you. Not casually, not accidentally, but intentionally. They study the strength in your stride, the softness in your silence, the potential in your presence. And though they admire you, they cannot ignore those moments when your appearance hides what your soul tries to reveal. They are waiting for one sign, one shift, one moment where your outside finally aligns with your inside. If something in your spirit is stirring right now, if you feel a quiet pull, a sudden awareness, a whisper telling you, "This is for me," write 777 inches the comments. Not because it is trendy, but because 777 represents completion, covenant, and divine timing. Let this number become a marker, a declaration, a spiritual agreement that today is the day you step into alignment with the version of yourself heaven intended from the beginning. Stay with me, because before this first part ends, I will pray a seal over you, a holy imprint, so that this exact moment becomes the turning point of your appearance, your confidence, and your destiny. Breathe, stay present, and listen closely. What comes next will show you why your reflection is not just a mirror, but a message. You need to understand something essential. The greatest enemy of your presence is not lack of beauty, not lack of style, not lack of resources. It is inconsistency. Inconsistency is the silent thief that steals clarity from your identity. It makes people unsure of who you truly are. It makes opportunities hesitate before reaching your hands. And it creates a gap between the version of you that exists inside and the version of you the world sees outside. Every time you walk into a room, people notice you, even if you don't notice them. Every time you move through your day, someone is reading you, interpreting you, forming an impression long before you speak. And every time you choose your clothes without intention, you preach a silent sermon about how you value your own calling. One day, you step out of your home looking like destiny wrapped in skin, radiating confidence, purpose, and strength. But the next day, you look like someone who has forgotten their own worth. One day, you dress like a leader. The next day, you dress like someone trying to disappear. One day, your presence commands attention. The next day, you look as if you don't even believe you deserve to be seen. And this inconsistency, though subtle, speaks loudly. It sends mixed signals that confuse the people who want to help you, work with you, invest in you, or even love you. They see potential in you, but they also see hesitation. They see brilliance, but they also see doubt. They see confidence one day, but the next day, they see someone burying their own light under layers of carelessness. People do not only see you, they interpret you. They do not only look at you, they remember you. They do not only observe you, They decide about you. That is the power of first impressions. And whether you like it or not, your appearance is your introduction long before your words ever arrive. Nobody is asking you to be perfect, glamorous, or wealthy. What people are asking, what life is asking, what destiny is demanding, is consistency. Consistency builds trust. Consistency shapes perception. Consistency reveals character. When your appearance changes drastically from day to day, you create confusion around your identity. The world begins to wonder, who are you really? Which version is the real one? Which version should I trust? Imagine someone meeting you on a day when you are dressed sharply, intentionally, and confidently. They look at you and think, this person is capable, this person carries something special, this person is going somewhere. And then imagine they meet you again the next day, but this time you present yourself with carelessness, as if nothing about you is worth honoring. The message you send is not, I'm relaxed today. The message you send is, I am not consistent. I don't show up the same way twice. I'm not sure of myself. Inconsistency weakens your presence because it weakens your message. And every outfit you wear sends a message. Every color you choose, every fabric you put on, every level of effort you invest becomes a line in the story you're telling the world. You may think you are just getting dressed, but you are actually communicating identity, dignity, purpose, and direction. That is why inconsistency is dangerous. It blurs your message. It dilutes your power. It makes the world second-guess the truth of who you really are. You cannot build a strong destiny on a weak message. You cannot step into a powerful future while sending conflicting signals about your value. You cannot walk into rooms expecting respect when your appearance expresses hesitation. This is deeper than style. This is about coherence. This is about alignment. This is about presenting the same strength on the outside that you know you carry on the inside. And this matters even more because someone is already paying attention to you. Someone is reading you closely. Someone is noticing your patterns, your highs, and your lows. They admire you, but they are also confused by the contrast between your inner greatness and your outer inconsistency. They are not asking you to change who you are. They are wondering when your appearance will finally reveal who you have always been. If your future depends on clarity, why allow confusion to speak louder than your purpose? If your presence has power, why let inconsistency dilute it? And if you know God has placed something extraordinary inside you, why cover it with something ordinary? Now breathe, because the next part will show you why identity and image are not separate, why your appearance is not a costume but a calling, and why great thinkers like C.S. Lewis and Scripture itself have spoken about the glory hidden inside you and the responsibility to reveal it. Before you can understand why your appearance matters to your destiny, you must understand something far deeper. Your identity carries a glory you have not yet learned to reveal. And this idea is not new. Great thinkers, theologians, and prophets have spoken about it for generations because humanity has always wrestled with the gap between who we truly are and what we appear to be. C.S. Lewis, one of the clearest voices of the last century, wrote something profound in his sermon, The Weight of Glory. He explained that if we could see each human being in their future redeemed state, if we could witness the fullness of who they are in God, we would be tempted to fall on our knees in awe. Lewis wasn't exaggerating. He was trying to show us that every human walks around carrying a hidden radiance, a dignity so immense that our earthly eyes can barely comprehend it. And if that kind of glory is in you, if heaven sees you as a creature of staggering beauty and eternal brightness, how can your present appearance be treated as an afterthought? If your future self is magnificent, why should your current presentation be careless? This is why Lewis's writing connects so strongly with this message. He understood the tension between divine identity and earthly expression. He understood the sacred responsibility of reflecting outwardly the value God has placed inwardly. Scripture echoes the same truth. In 1 Samuel 16-7, We are reminded that while the Lord looks at the heart, humans look at the outward appearance. God sees the truth, but people see the signals. Heaven reads your intention, but the world reads your presentation. This does not mean you should obsess over clothing or fall into vanity. It means you must acknowledge the reality of perception. You cannot control how others see the world, but you can control what you present to them. And if people will inevitably interpret your appearance, why not give them a message that honors the identity God gave you? Think of Esther. She did not enter the king's presence by accident. She underwent preparation intentional, disciplined, meticulous, because her moment required alignment. Her outer preparation did not diminish her inner purity, it amplified it. It provided a vessel worthy of the purpose she carried. You too have moments waiting for you, moments where appearance and destiny intersect, moments where clarity matters, moments where the way you show up becomes the difference between being overlooked and being elevated. Esther was not superficial, she was strategic. She understood timing, she understood honor, she understood presentation as part of the purpose. And so must you. Identity is not an abstract spiritual idea floating above your life. Identity is expressed. Identity is communicated. Identity is embodied. Every time you dress with intention, you are not performing, you are aligning. Every time you honor your appearance, you are not trying to impress, you are trying to reflect. Every time you present yourself with consistency, you are not chasing validation, you are declaring identity. This is why your inconsistency hurts you, because it contradicts the truth of who you are. When your appearance is careless, it hides the glory inside you. When your appearance is intentional, it reveals the glory God placed there. This is not about clothing, this is about coherence. This is not about image, this is about integrity. This is not about fashion, this is about the language of identity, anaphora. Every time you show up with clarity, you honor your calling. Every time you show up with confidence, you honor your Creator. Every time you show up with discipline, you honor your future. Your appearance is not a costume, it is a testimony. It is the frame around the portrait of your destiny. It is the first chapter of the story that people read before they ever hear your voice. And someone important, someone watching you more closely than you know, is waiting for you to step into that alignment. They don't just want to see the greatness inside you, they want to see it expressed. They want to see identity turning into presence, potential turning into presentation, calling turning into clarity. When your outer self aligns with your inner truth, something powerful happens. People stop misreading you, doors stop bypassing you, and opportunities stop hesitating before reaching you. Alignment accelerates destiny. There is someone in your life right now who sees you far more clearly than you realize. They are not watching you out of boredom or curiosity. They are watching you with intention. They notice the way you walk into a room, the way you sit when you think no one is paying attention, the way your clothes fall on you, the way you shift between confidence and hesitation. And unlike the rest of the world, they don't just glance, they observe. They don't just see, they study. They don't just notice, they remember. This person has been quietly evaluating your presence, your patterns, your posture. They see the strength in your gestures, the gentleness in your silence, the brilliance in your eyes. They see potential that others overlook and depth that even you sometimes deny. And while they admire you, they are also puzzled because your appearance does not always match the truth they sense inside you. One day, you look like someone who carries purpose, clarity, and direction. The next day, you show up as if you are unsure of your own worth. One day, your presence speaks, "I know who I am." The next day, it whispers, "I am trying not to be seen." This is the contradiction that keeps them hesitating, not because they doubt you, but because they are waiting for you to choose who you are going to be. They cannot invest fully in someone who presents two different versions of themselves. They cannot step closer when your appearance sends mixed signals about your identity. They cannot walk toward you with confidence when your presence oscillates between power and uncertainty. And yet, their admiration for you has not faded. If anything, it has grown. Because they see something you have not fully stepped into. They see your raw integrity, your unspoken beauty, your natural strength. They see your resilience, your intellect, your quiet magnetism. They see what you could become if you ever decided to present yourself with the same consistency as your spirit carries inwardly. They are not waiting for perfection. They are waiting for intention. They are not waiting for extravagance. They are waiting for alignment. They are not waiting for someone new. They are waiting for the real you to appear every single day, not just on the days when you feel confident, but on the days when you don't. They have already imagined you in their future. They have pictured you walking beside them, not as a fragmented soul, but as a whole one. They have imagined showing you to the world with pride, not hesitation. They have imagined introducing you, trusting you, choosing you. But to step forward, they need clarity. They need consistency. They need to know which version of you will show up tomorrow, next week, next month. Because your appearance is not separate from your character. It is the first expression of your character. It is the first promise of who you are becoming. It is the first signal of how seriously you take yourself. This person wants to move closer, but they cannot follow the confusion. They want to approach you, but they need the assurance that you are ready to approach your own destiny. They want to choose you, but they want to see you choose yourself first. Not in arrogance, not in vanity, but in confidence, in dignity, in alignment. Someone important is watching you not to judge you, but to see if the greatness inside you will finally match the image you show the world. They want to see your identity become visible, your potential become present, your inner power become outer expression. And the moment you decide to show up with consistency, clarity, and intention, their hesitation will break, their distance will close, and the connection you feel but cannot explain will finally take shape. Before you step into who you are meant to become, you must confront the true enemy, blocking your path: inconsistency, not failure, not rejection, not lack of talent or opportunity. Inconsistency. It is subtle, quiet, polite, but destructive. It hides in your daily choices, disguises itself as lack of effort, whispers excuses, and slowly erodes the message your life is supposed to communicate. And the most dangerous part is this: inconsistency sends mixed signals to the very people who are watching you, supporting you, considering you, or evaluating whether they can trust you with bigger spaces, deeper relationships, or greater responsibilities. One day, you walk into the world looking like purpose wrapped in skin, radiating determination and clarity. But the next day, you appear as if your life carries no urgency, no direction, no intention. One day, your presence says, "I am ready for my future." The next day, your appearance says, "I am still unsure of myself." One day, you look like someone who has been chosen. The next day, you look like someone who is hoping not to be noticed. And this back and forth, this constant shifting, this unstable expression of identity becomes the very reason why people hesitate before drawing close to you. Mixed signals create confusion. Confusion creates distance. Distance creates delay. When your style and your energy do not agree with your spirit, the world cannot understand who you truly are. You cannot preach confidence and present uncertainty. You cannot carry greatness inside but dress in a way that hides it. You cannot desire elevation while communicating ambiguity. People are not confused because they don't understand you. People are confused because your presentation contradicts your potential, and this contradiction damages your influence more than you realize. You might think you are simply not dressing up today, but others read it as a lack of consistency. You might feel you are just tired, but others see it as a lack of discipline. You might believe you are not in the mood, but others interpret it as instability. This may sound unfair, but it is human nature. We interpret what we see before we trust what we hear. We form judgments long before we hear explanations. We respond to signals long before we ask questions. That is why mixed signals are so dangerous. They distort the message your life is supposed to send. And you cannot walk into destiny while sending contradictory messages about who you are becoming. You cannot expect doors to open for you while your appearance tells the world you are not ready. You cannot hope for someone to choose you while you choose inconsistency. What you wear is not just clothing, it is communication. It is an intention, it is alignment. It is the visible echo of your invisible strength. Every outfit you choose says something about how seriously you take your calling. Every level of effort reflects your level of self-respect. Every detail is a declaration. This is who I am, and this is who I am becoming. That is why inconsistency must be confronted, because inconsistency is not harmless. It is a barrier. It is a message that betrays your own greatness. It prevents people from seeing you clearly. And when people cannot see you clearly, they cannot trust you fully. You cannot build destiny on confusion. You cannot build identity on contradiction. You cannot build a future on mixed signals. The moment you eliminate inconsistency, you eliminate doubt, both in yourself and in those watching you. You create clarity. You create trust. You create momentum, and clarity attracts opportunity. Trust attracts connection. Momentum attracts destiny. Now that you understand the damage inconsistency causes, you must learn the principle that transforms everything. Alignment. Alignment is when your inner identity and your outer expression finally agree. It is the moment your appearance stops contradicting your spirit and starts amplifying it. It is when the message on the outside reflects the truth on the inside. Alignment is not about beauty, luxury, or trends. It is about harmony, coherence, and integrity. It is the decision to make your outer presence a true representation of your inner strength. And when those two realms align, your life accelerates in ways you cannot imagine. Your appearance should never be a costume that hides your identity. It should be a frame that reveals it. Your style should not silence your calling. It should support it. Your choices should not blur your value. They should broadcast it. Every time you dress with intention, you aren't showing off, you're showing alignment. Every time you honor your presentation, you aren't seeking validation, you're practicing stewardship. Every time you choose consistency, you aren't chasing approval, you're declaring identity. People often think dressing well is superficial, but it is not superficial when it is connected to purpose. It is not shallow when it reflects discipline. It is not vanity when it expresses dignity. Your clothing becomes a form of communication, a visual testimony of how seriously you take yourself and your destiny. When you present yourself thoughtfully, you are saying, "My life matters." When you show up with intention, you are saying, "My calling deserves respect." When you look like you value yourself, you teach others to value you too. Anaphora strengthens this truth. Don't dress like someone who is apologizing for existing, dress like someone who was sent with purpose. Don't hide your identity, honor it. Don't shrink your presence, sharpen it. Don't blur your message, clarify it. Clothes do not make your character, but they reveal how you carry your character. They are not your destiny, but they often determine how people respond to your destiny. They are not the source of your power, but they shape the way your power is perceived, and perception influences opportunity. When your outer self aligns with your inner truth, people stop underestimating you, doors stop bypassing you, rooms respond differently, conversations shift, respect rises. Your presence begins to open pathways long before you speak, and this is not magic, it is alignment. Alignment accelerates destiny because clarity attracts advancement. When someone sees you dressed with intention, they instantly sense responsibility, confidence, and authority. You do not need to announce your worth. You do not need to explain who you are. You do not need to justify your place in the room. Your alignment speaks for you. Your appearance whispers courage. Your posture declares purpose. Your consistency sends a message that cannot be ignored, and that message is simple. I know who I am becoming. Because when your outside and inside finally agree, you stop confusing the world and start commanding it. You stop sending mixed signals and start sending prophetic ones. You stop looking like your fears and begin looking like your future. And the person who has been quietly watching you, waiting for you, will feel the shift immediately. The hesitation they once carried will break. The distance they kept will close. The admiration they felt will deepen into clarity, respect, attraction, and certainty. And your life will feel the change too, because alignment is not just about clothes. Alignment is about identity. It is about stepping into the version of you that destiny has already recognized. There is a version of you that the world has not fully seen yet, a version forged in purpose, shaped in quiet battles, strengthened by everything you've survived. This version is not imaginary. It is waiting, pressing from the inside out, longing to break through the layers of hesitation, inconsistency, and self-doubt you have carried for far too long. There is a version of you that walks into a room, and the atmosphere adjusts. A version that carries clarity, authority, and intention. A version that looks like someone who knows exactly why they were born. There is a version of you that no longer shrinks, apologizes, no longer hides behind casualness or carelessness. This version stands tall, moves with purpose, and dresses like someone who understands that presence is a responsibility, not an accident. And it is time past time for that version to come forth. You have been treating your destiny as if it is far away, but your destiny has been standing at your door, waiting for you to open it with confidence. You have been living as if greatness is optional, but greatness has been calling your name with urgency. You have been dressing as if your life is ordinary, but nothing about you is ever ordinary. You are not the background. You are not invisible. You are not accidental. You are chosen. You are seen. You are called. Anaphora must become your awareness. Every day you show up with intention, you step closer to your future. Every day you choose consistency. You choose growth. Every day you honor your appearance. You honor your calling. Someone important has already imagined you at your highest level, clean, sharp, focused, magnetic. They have pictured you beside them, not as a question mark, but as a partner. They have imagined introducing you, trusting you, and building with you, but they need to see the version of you that is stable, intentional, and consistent. Not perfection, not extravagance, just clarity, just commitment, just alignment. They are not waiting for you to become someone else. They are waiting for you to become the fullest expression of who you already are. And the moment you rise into that version, the main character, destiny-aligned, purpose-driven version, everything changes. Doors will open without you knocking. People will respect you without you requesting it. Opportunities will recognize you before you introduce yourself. Because alignment creates recognition. Confidence creates attraction. Presence creates influence. You must decide today, not someday, that the inconsistent version of you is no longer allowed to lead. You must decide that your appearance will no longer contradict your spirit. You must decide that your life deserves the effort, the intention, the excellence that your calling demands. Dress like someone who has somewhere to go. Walk like someone who carries something sacred. Speak like someone aware of their value. Present yourself like someone chosen by destiny itself. The world will sense it. The person watching you will feel it. And your future will respond. Before we seal everything that has been spoken, I want you to breathe gently and allow your heart to become still. This prayer is not decoration, it is activation, it is alignment. It is a spiritual imprint marking the moment you step into the highest version of yourself. Now let us pray. Father, I lift the one hearing this message right now. You know them completely, every fear they've carried, every wound they've hidden, every dream they've buried under years of doubt. You have seen their private battles, their unseen sacrifices, the nights they questioned their worth, and the mornings they woke up still choosing to keep going. I ask that you touch their identity with a fresh fire. Remove every lie that has ever been told to them, that they were unworthy, invisible, or insignificant. Break the internal voice that diminishes their value. Silence the whispers that told them they were not enough. Replace every false identity with truth, truth that says they are chosen, truth that says they are set apart, truth that says they carry glory, truth that says they were created with purpose. Let them see themselves the way you see them. Strong, radiant, capable, intentional. And now, Lord, I pray for their appearance, not shallow beauty, but sacred presentation. Teach them to carry themselves with dignity. Teach them to honor the vessel you formed. Teach them to show the world the strength you placed inside their soul. Let their appearance no longer be a mask that hides their greatness, but a mirror that reflects it. Restore their self-respect. Restore their confidence. Restore their ability to show up with clarity. Give them wisdom in how they present themselves, not to impress people, but to honor their calling. Let them understand that excellence is worship, that consistency is character, that intentionality is obedience. Father, I also pray for the one who has been watching them, the person quietly studying them, admiring them, wondering about them. If this connection is from you, make the timing clear, purify the motives, and align the paths. Remove every ounce of confusion and replace it with certainty. Let this relationship, partnership, or opportunity reflect your will, not their fear. Let both hearts rise into maturity, clarity, and readiness. And now, Lord, I declare a prophetic seal over their life. The season of inconsistency ends now. The season of hiding ends now. The season of shrinking ends now. From this day forward, let their inner strength match their outer presence. Let their appearance speak confidence. Let their posture speak purpose. Let their choices speak responsibility. Let their presence speak destiny. May rooms shift when they enter. May opportunities recognize them. May people respond to them with new respect, new attention, new openness. And may they rise into the version of themselves that heaven has always seen, the version that moves with intention, dresses with dignity, and walks with authority. I speak clearly over them. I speak boldly over them. I speak alignment over them. And I seal this transformation in the name of purpose, identity, and destiny. Amen. If you received this prayer, write 777 as a sign of agreement and prepare, because your next chapter has already begun. You have heard the truth, you have felt the alignment, and now you stand at the threshold of a new version of yourself. This is the moment where everything spoken becomes action, where revelation becomes responsibility, where identity becomes expression. You already carry an energy that makes people notice you. Now you must decide to show up with the consistency that makes them respect you. Your appearance is no longer an afterthought. It is a declaration. It is the visible echo of your unseen strength, the outward confirmation of your inward transformation. Do not shrink back into old patterns. Do not return to inconsistency. Do not dress like someone who forgot their worth. Dress like someone who knows where they are going. Walk like someone who understands the weight of their calling. Present yourself like someone chosen by destiny. The person watching you will see the shift. Opportunities will feel the shift. Even the atmosphere around your life will shift. This is your new standard. This is your new identity. This is your new beginning. Now rise and become the version of yourself that heaven has always recognized. Your next chapter has already started.